They expected anger. They waited for explanations. They were ready for his apology. But he did nothing. No message, no reaction, no closure, and that silence destroyed their ego. He wasn't always silent. Once he explained himself too much. Once he tried to fix misunderstandings. Once he replied instantly. Long messages, voice notes, late night calls, and every time he reacted, they felt powerful. Because when someone reacts emotionally, the other person feels in control. They criticized him casually, ignored him strategically, pulled away just enough to make him chase. And he did. For a while. Until one day, he stopped. No warning, no drama, no final message, just silence. At first they laughed. He'll come back. He always does. He can't stay quiet. Hours passed, then days. The confidence started to crack. They checked their phone more often, reread old messages, watched his last scene. Why isn't he reacting? Did I go too far? Or worse? Does he not care anymore? They sent a casual message. Something small. Something safe. No reply. That's when irritation turned into panic. Because silence doesn't argue. Silence doesn't defend. Silence doesn't beg. Silence removes the stage. They tried harder. Indirect posts, old jokes, mutual friends, anything to trigger a reaction. Still nothing. And slowly, painfully, they realized the truth. They had lost power. Not because he attacked them, not because he insulted them, but because he withdrew his attention. And attention was the only thing feeding their ego. Here's what psychology teaches us. Ego survives on reaction. When you argue, explain, defend, or beg, you are emotionally investing. And the person receiving that emotion feels superior. This is called ego reinforcement. But silence changes everything. Silence creates a vacuum. And the human mind hates uncertainty. When there's no response, the brain fills the gap with fear, doubt, overthinking, self-blame. They replay conversations, question their worth, imagine worst-case scenarios. This mental conflict is called cognitive dissonance, and it hurts more than rejection ever could. Silence also sends a signal. Emotional control, self-respect, inner strength. And the mind automatically associates that with power. You're no longer predictable, no longer available on demand, no longer emotionally accessible. And for someone driven by ego, that feels like defeat. Here's the lesson. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not avoidance. Silence is detachment. It means you don't need validation. You don't need to win arguments. You don't need to prove your worth. Because your worth doesn't come from reactions. Not everyone deserves access to your emotions. Not every provocation deserves a response. Sometimes, the strongest move is saying nothing at all. If this story stayed with you, it's because you've lived it. Or you needed to hear it. If you want more stories that explain psychology simply, stories about ego, emotional control, detachment, and power. Like this video. Share it with someone who needs it. And subscribe to the channel. Because here, we don't just tell stories. We explain human behavior. And we tell stories that stay with you.